Now entering is made possible with support from Frank Miller Lumber, Ward Construction, Citizens State Bank, City of Union City, with additional support from Abarote y Taqueria Los Tacos, All Brothers Lawn Squad, Bowser's Barn Restaurant and Catering, Carts and Parts, Community Foundation of Randolph County, Dennis Pratt State Farm, English and Prentke Attorneys at Law, Calp Pharmacy, Ohio Valley Gas, Paul Faddis Tartar Realty, Randolph County United, Structured Solutions.
Hello, I am Mayor Chad Spence, and you are now entering Union City.
Due east of Muncie, Union City sits right on the border between Indiana and Ohio. Technically, Union City is actually two communities, one on each side of the state line. Union City, Ohio was platted first in 1838, followed 11 years later by Union City, Indiana. Multiple railroads intersected here at the state line, and for much of the 19th and 20th centuries, the railways brought industry and entertainment to Union City. For many decades, the post office was about the only thing shared between the two sides of the state line. Until 2006, Indiana did not follow daylight saving time, making next-door neighbors an hour apart for half the year. Today, however, the relationship has grown into a strong sense of shared identity. The 5,000 people on either side of the state line tend to refer to their town simply as Union City. You'll find residents passionate about their shared community, including educational opportunities, a revitalized downtown, and a community Christmas celebration you'll have to see to believe. You are now entering Union City.
My name is Becky Keel. I'm the business and marketing teacher at Union City Junior Senior High School, and I'm here to talk today about the DECA program at Union City. So these are students who are enrolled in business and marketing classes, and it's a co-curricular organization that kind of teaches leadership and community involvement and just giving kids experiences, and then of course preparing them academically for after high school. We are one of two schools in the state of Indiana that run two school-based enterprises. School-based enterprises are a part of DECA. What they do is students run a business during the day and they learn as they run the business. The teepee was started by Tom Johnson. I have to give him a shout out. In 1974, the teepee started on a cart in the gym foyer. They sold like little snacks during lunch. And then when they did a remodel, sometime in the 80s at the high school, they built on a store to the classroom. And so kids would go in during lunch and it's a class and they run the school-based enterprise, the teepee. So in 2 years, we'll be coming up on the 50th anniversary of the teepee. In 1988, a young lady Cheryl Van Camp, who was a student at Union City, went to a conference and saw this screen printing. And she was like, Johnson, we need to start this. Like, we need to start a screen printing business. So in the corner of the classroom, Cheryl Van Camp, who now teaches with me, decided that she was gonna do this. And so Tom's like, let's do it. So in 1988, they started Apache Design, which is a screen printing business, but we've now expanded. So these students get to travel, see different things, see things outside of Union City. They attend leadership conferences. There's also competition where they compete in something that they know a little bit about. I have seen so many students who have gone through the program go out, start their own businesses. We've had people who work on the Ellen DeGeneres show. We've had people work on the Shark Tank. Just some of the experiences they've had have allowed them to move on past, Union City, and given them the confidence to be able to go on and do other things. As you drive up Columbia Street about 3 years ago, there was this big green building that had been abandoned, basically. Ball State came, their architecture, their master's program came and did the history of the building, and they wanted to try to change it into something. And they came up with this idea of Vision Corner. DECA and KISS TV have been around for over 50 years. They wanted to get it uptown and let the community see what types of things that these two education areas do. And so Vision Corner came out of that. And so we're gonna be moving uptown. KISS TV is gonna have a TV studio up there. Apache Design, one of the student-based enterprises or school-based enterprises, is going to have a retail shop, and it's gonna have windows so people can see what the kids do on a daily basis, which I think is exciting. I think that we're gonna have that vision, like when we say Vision Corner, that people are going to be able to see us. And the other thing with that is, it's just gonna give the kids a more real world experience. I mean, they're getting it already, but they're gonna be thrown in downtown. I'm not gonna be there all day. So they're gonna have to problem solve, they're gonna have to get creative, they're gonna have to, deal with things that come up on a daily basis. But I think they're excited for that opportunity.
I'm Shelley King, and I'm Publicity Chairperson for Community Christmas. I have been involved since the very beginning, so this is our 17th season, and it's been exciting to watch this event grow from a small little section of Harder Park being lit to the entire park being lit. Larry Amspaugh is the brainstorm behind it, and when he first came up with the idea, I could see it. When he talked about what he wanted to do, I'm like, I'm in. When you get ready to do this, I want to be part of that, and I have been a part of it ever since.
I can remember like it was yesterday. I literally remember where I was standing between the dining room and the kitchen. I'm leaning on the ledge, just answering my cell phone, and it's Larry Amspaugh. He goes, Chad, we're gonna light the park. And I have no conceivable idea what that really means or looks like. But he went on to talk about how the park is such an asset to Union City. I mean, it is an unusually large park for a community this size. It's a 70-acre park for a small community, which is ginormous, but it's beautiful with the rolling hills, the majestic trees, the creek that runs through it, and it's really a beautiful park. But he goes, it's underutilized, and we need to light it up at Christmas time and bring people in. And then we took to the streets. Literally, we went door to door asking folks for donations for either money or lights. And one thing that stuck with me so much is I went to this little house on the south end of town. This elderly gentleman shimmies up to the door and answers it, and I told him what we were doing, and he said, "One moment." And he kind of shimmies back to the back of the house. And he disappears, and he comes back, and he's got a string of lights in his hand. And he goes, "Here you go." And this gentleman, by the looks of entering the house and what was inside, he didn't really have anything. He gave him what he had. And it touched me In fact, it gave me chills at the time when I walked out of the house, because it's like this guy gave from what seemed to be nothing, and it meant so much. And it's like, okay, now I get it. I get what this is really about. This is more than just stringing lights on trees. And so that first year, we had lights in what amounted to be like just a handful of trees in the very middle of the park. So it was like spitting in the ocean. I mean, it was something special. And we did have people show up to see the lights, but each year we kept trying harder and harder. We kept getting more and more interest. And now we're to the point where we have War Course that will donate a day of volunteers. The school will have a faculty day where those faculty will come out and they'll help. We'll have volunteers throughout the community, different ones that will show up and help. And it's so special.
I do not do any decorating. I leave that to Larry and Chad and all the guys. But I'm responsible for all of the publicity that we do. And I also in charge of scheduling volunteers to work at the gates every night that we're open, which is from the day after Thanksgiving all the way through New Year's Eve.
It's cool how it's set up because it's really community Christmas through and through. Because we have different organizations, 501c3s, little league kids teams, you name it, that will work the donation booth at the end. And it's all free, but people can give out of their own free will.
And then I also am in charge of the lighted parade. It's a kickoff to the season. So we have it on the night after Thanksgiving, and the parade starts on the Ohio side and then goes all the way out to the park. And as soon as the parade gets to the park, then lights come on for the first time for the season.
We have over 10,000 vehicles that come through every season. We have folks that come in from Indianapolis and Cincinnati and Dayton and Columbus to just see these lights at this park. And it's this park that's lit up from head to toe. We have planes that fly overhead and they'll take people on flights, to see the light. It's just amazing and so cool because it's an example of what happens when people come together. The people is what made it happen. The people are what helped donate their time and their efforts and their minds to help bring this together and make this a winter wonderland that kids are just in awe of, and it turns a 92-year-old into a 2-year-old for a moment. It's just awesome.
Hi, I'm Aaron Black. I'm here to talk about Union City and our great school corporation, Randolph Eastern School Corporation. Of course, when you look at your life in the rearview mirror, you can see influential decisions or people in your life. And for me, influential people always comes back to the teachers that I had. Growing up, I just had amazing people that poured into my life. When I got into high school, I had the luxury of having Ted Leahy as a freshman, and he's just a person that just loves this community and really cultivated a love for the community and others. I had coaches all along the way. I played football and basketball, so I always had good, solid mentors in my life that not only challenged me, but also gave me an understanding of what it was like to serve others. Had the luxury of being a part of our KISS TV program as a student. I loved broadcasting ball games. Our DECA program at that time was very strong as it is today, but again, just gave me the opportunity to experience life around other adults. I think programming-wise, that's probably the two areas that make me comfortable to sit in a situation like this. When I graduated from high school, you kind of leave your will, and one of the things that I left, and it gets brought up a lot of times, is that I said someday I'll come back and I'll have the keys to this place. And I don't think when I said it, I meant as far as where I'm at now, but it was always something on my mind that I thought I would end up back at home. So yeah, I graduated from Ball State, had a great undergrad experience there. Was at Monroe Central for a couple years, worked under some great mentors there. Spent some time in Jamaica doing some service work there, and then when the opportunity arose to come back home to be an assistant principal in 2012, I took that job, and it's kind of all she wrote from there. We really make it our mission that just because you're from Union City, a small school in East Central Indiana, you should have the same opportunities as students in the Donut, the Carmels. We just take that very personally. Project Lead the Way is all about teaching kids how to work with one another and problem solve. Our second or third grade students, one of the challenges they're given is how to build a cast for a young person that has a broken arm or deficiency. So they all develop their own plans on how to build a cast for this hypothetical other young person. So that they have to work together to develop those plans. And then on the back end, when you see our high school students that are in computer science and they're talking about coding, they're coding robots that we now see working at restaurants, right? They are learning that language, and that starts pre-K with kids just having like language and inspiring them through the opportunity to work with others. In our STEM program, it's unique in the fact that every one of our teachers in our elementary building are trained in this program. So that means every teacher and every student experience it multiple times throughout the year. Because again of that effort and the things that we've done, we've been recognized nationally the last 3 years. One of 8 schools in the country last year that were recognized as a distinguished Project Lead the Way district. Education is going to evolve, especially at the secondary or the high school level. We have a responsibility to make sure that students understand why they're in school and inspire them earlier. And we've got to do that by getting them outside the 4 walls of the school and experience what world looks like, right? What are the job opportunities right now? So when they get to high school, they understand, I really want to be in a KISS TV program, and I love those opportunities. And their high school should look a little more like a college experience as far as having the freedom to go out and do some freelance type work, some opportunities to work with others on a larger scale. If you walk the hallways of our schools, we've done a phenomenal job for years of growing our own. A lot of the people that work in our building are Union City grads. And in a world right now where there's teacher shortages and employee shortages everywhere, we've not been impacted by that too much because we have young people that want to come back, and they're kind of in line to come back and work in our building. So that's really positioned us well because our people love the community they grew up in.
Hi, I'm Eric Hyatt. I'd like to talk about the emergency services collaboration and how it should positively affect Union City. I started my career 42 years ago with Union City, Ohio Fire Department. And then, and even before then, each of these fire departments were built independently of each other. We didn't have any cooperation, so any cooperation there was built on mistrust and doubt. So they were built independently, and we've had 2 strong, fully functioning departments separated by 6 blocks with no cooperation. It was harmful to our citizens. We would call mutual aid companies from 10 miles or 12 miles away to supplement our workforce instead of calling our neighbor that's 6 blocks away, and that wasn't the right thing to do. Ironically, the federal government's the only agency that got it right. They put 1 post office in here and serviced both states. And we finally figured it out that if they can do it, we should be able to do it. We're automatic mutual aid, so when I get a call for a fire, they're automatically dispatched with us and vice versa. And that was one of the first steps. Somebody's having an emergency, they call 911, and they don't care who shows up. They've never cared. I'm hurt and I just want somebody to show up and help me. And that's what they're getting now. So if you're on the Ohio side and you call 911, you'll probably get them, but if they're currently busy, you're gonna get me. And nobody cares. We're currently maintaining 3 buildings in Union City, Indiana, 3 buildings in Union City, Ohio, housing all of these different agencies. And when you can combine them and do it in one, it's cost savings. We're all gonna maintain our individual identities. Our plan is to move into a common building, and that's all of us. We're hoping to develop a community center that's for government, and we all share the same building. We're hoping to build it on the state line. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but historically, the state line has been a huge challenge for this community, and now we look at it as a huge opportunity, and we're going to exploit that. So we're just thinking different now, and I think we're going to overcome it. And you're already seeing the results. The Union City is remaking itself, and it's a beautiful place to live. I was born and raised in Union City, Ohio, and I only moved to Union City, Indiana about 5-6 years ago now. I've always been in this community. I love Union City because it's my home. It's always been my home, and I'm just so excited about where we're going, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Hi, my name is Delia Basinger, and I'm going to be talking about how our business has grown over the years. My mom worked 3 jobs, and my dad had just lost his job, and we were living in San Jose, California. And then one of my uncles from Union City actually called my mom and was like, hey, listen, like, I have a grocery store that I can't maintain anymore. Like, I need somebody to, like, come in and take it over. We packed up our U-Haul and packed up our van at the time and made the drive across country, and we got here in Union City. And one of the things my mom would tell you, like, is that when she came into Union City, one of the things that she felt was like a blanket that came off of her. It was God telling her that, you know, it was here. This was where her life was gonna be, and that's how it started. Our grocery store is like international like ingredients. If you want to make an authentic like Mexican dish or things like that, we have those ingredients. And the community like in general has grown with like diversity. So like we have people from Guatemala or Honduras or Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Peru. You know, we have all those different cultures in our community. So that kind of helps too, because they bring us like, hey, can you get me this type of like ingredient, and we can find it and we bring it to them, you know, and bring it close to home to them. My mom would make a couple lunches here and there for people, and because they really liked her cooking, and she really enjoys cooking. That's her passion. That's what she does and loves. And so it kind of started growing. And so then we kind of decided, you know what, like, let's try the actual restaurant. So she renovated the back part and made it into like a small little restaurant. We all work as a family to make it work. But we also have another restaurant that we are planning to build, and that'll be like a rotisserie chicken place, you know, things like that. I would tell people to bring their business to Union City, because like if they have a vision or if they have something that they want to start up, they'll help you make it happen. My mom went up to the mayor and was like, hey, like, I want to open up a rotisserie chickens place. And he looked at her and was like, okay, like, let's do it, you know? They want Union City to thrive, and they want people to succeed. They want the community to grow and have diversity. And so over the 20 years that we've been here, at first, the community was very reserved. Today, they will welcome anybody with open arms. And so the progress has been drastic, you know? It's been a completely 180. The community is just so welcoming.
Now entering is made possible with support from Frank Miller Lumber, Ward Construction, Citizens State Bank, City of Union City, with additional support from Abarote y Taqueria Los Tacos, All Brothers Lawn Squad, Bowser's Barn Restaurant and Catering, Carts and Parts, Community Foundation of Randolph County, Dennis Pratt State Farm, English and Prentke Attorneys at Law, Calp Pharmacy, Ohio Valley Gas, Paul Faddis Tartar Realty, Randolph County United, Structured Solutions.